Come close. Yes. Center look. Sir, यहाँ पे देखा ही नहीं. Sir, both of you. Okay. Sir, यहाँ पे. Sir. Sir, you want to keep it actually? Sure. Zoya, come. Zoya, come. Sir.
Director, being a producer, it's more so an everyday phenomenon. It could be our dreams, our behavior, but cinema does reside in us all. So we thought, what better way to pay homage to 100 years of Indian cinema than to celebrate the cinema that lives within us all. And that's what Bombay Talkies is all about. Consisting of 4 short stories by India's finest directors, Karan Johar, Zoya Akhtar, Dibakar Banerjee, and Anurag Kashyap. Contemporary director who's an inspiration to many women. Her critically acclaimed and commercially successful Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara was something that was so relatable that it had a repeat audience many times over. I'm guilty. I went about 6 times to watch it, and that's not just because I'm in it. It's because I really thought it was all heart. The very spunky Zoya Akhtar. Joining Zoya on stage is a man who started his career in advertising, but has time and again given some really path-breaking experiences with films like Khosla Ka Ghosla, Oh Lucky Lucky Oi, and Love, Sex or Dhoka. Please welcome director and screenwriter, a man with a sense of expression, Dibakar Banerjee. The next gentleman joining us on stage would need no further introduction. Agar main sirf itna kahun ki teri keh ke lunga. It's a phrase that he made hit with his very recent hit, Gangs of Wasepur. He is known for giving us movies that have made us sit up and take notice, finally. Black Friday, Devdi, Gulal, something intriguing each time. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the unparalleled Anurag Kashyap. And last but not the least, a man who dons many hats and very stylish ones at that. Director, producer, screenwriter, designer, TV host, judge, and the brain behind some of the biggest cult films in Indian cinema. Kabhi Khushi, the one and only Karan Johar. जिनको देखकर हर एक्टर के दिल में कुछ होता है. May I also request producers of Bombay Talkies, Mr. Vikram Malhotra, COO Viacom 18 Motion Pictures, and Ms. Ashi Dua from Flying Unicorn Entertainment to join us here, please. Mr. Malhotra, let's hear it from you, considering the film marks the centenary of Indian cinema. Let us have your thoughts. Each one of our directors here, tell us your story, share your thoughts on this day.
I'm not quite sure we're meant to tell us our story, but it's just wonderful to be a part of this completely illustrious gathering. When I was approached by Ashi really to do this, I was all set to say I didn't want to do this. Then a little or rather big nudge from Zoya, and I just said, why not? Because brevity, as I said, has not been my strength. I've never made a short film in my life, and I got a very I was a little overawed by these filmmakers, because all of them have done some exceptional and path-breaking stuff before, and I just felt a little scared that whether I would fit in. But I'm so glad after I did it that I did finally kind of succumb to them asking me to do this, because I think it's been the most alive part of what I've done. Like, I felt in those 9 days that I shot this film, I felt most alive as a filmmaker, something that I haven't felt in every film and every experience that I've shared on celluloid. And I really have to thank all of them for being so fantastic. In fact, we came in one car together just now, and I said, listen, can we form a kitty, all four of us? Can we meet? Because the times we've shared post the films being made together and our interactions and just chats, and it's been exhilarating. I mean, I wish we can make Bombay. He said 100 years. I'm more optimistic. I feel we should do this 2 years later and do Bombay Talkies 2, just because I want to work with them all over again. So thank you everyone.
Yeah, I don't know if, like Vikram said, that Ashi spoke to Viacom 18 a year and a half ago, but what very few people know is that Ashi spoke to all of us close to about 2.5 years ago. 2.5 years ago, Ashi was already planning. Ashi already knew that the 100 years of cinema would come. And Ashi was already, she had no films to her credit at that point. They just had a fledgling production house. And she was making the rounds of all the directors and telling them, listen, 3 years from now, there'll be the 100 years of cinema. Can we do something together? I've always wanted to see entrepreneurial producing in India, which has come of its age in the last 10 years. When Ashi started this thing that's kind of snowballed all of us together, I saw it happening in front of my eyes. And I think an interview of Ashi on her own, talking about her adventures of how this film came to be, is of order. So that definitely you guys should hear the story of how she thought of that. But coming to me, when she spoke to me about this, I was frankly I was very flattered actually, because making the kind of films that I do, I must say I have a slightly lonely existence. So, and I've never been part of any club or any kind of a gathering or group of filmmakers to belong to, and it's been kind of lonely out there. So when she told me that, it's going to be Anurag and Karan and Zoya or something like that, I frankly for the first time felt that I was being given entry into a nice club with nice facilities like a swimming pool or a valet on call or something like that. So I felt very privileged and humbled at the same time that I was being considered to be a part of this club. And so I just jumped at it, because of course there were many things to consider. Like Ashi told me that you can make a film on anything that you want, and you can make it's a short film and these three will be the other directors. So I said, let me think about it, let me get back to you and all that crap. But of course I was in the moment Ashi had talked about this, and I'm frankly very grateful to be here, because frankly, I don't get entry into as many clubs sort of, just like that. So this is very good for me. I feel very honored and humbled.
Good evening, and thank you all for being here today. I got onto this project at a dinner party at Anurag's, and there was Anurag and Dibakar, and they were discussing these shorts that they had signed. And my film had released a year ago. I had nothing on the anvil. I wasn't writing anything, and I was beginning to feel a bit jello listening to their conversation. So Anurag told me, would you like to make a short? And I was like, what is this about? And he told me it's for 100 years of Indian cinema. And there's this young girl called Ashi, just meet her. Would you be interested in making a short? 4 directors are making it. And I was like, I'd love to. 2 days later, Ashi walks in, and that's her. And she's extremely earnest, extremely charming. And I was like, I'll do this. I'd like to do this. As long as, I had a short story already that I'd been wanting to make and no opportunity to make it. So I said I can adapt it to this, to what you're looking for. But you've got to like the story, because I can't make anything to fit anyone else's format. It's got to be what I want. And she said, sure enough. I sent her the script and it was greenlit the next day, and that's how I got on. I'm very, very glad I did this. And I'm very proud to share a credit with the three of them. So, yeah.
Good evening, I'm Ashi, and I just feel proud and honored to be standing with these filmmakers, and I'm really grateful to all of them for doing this film, and this has been the most amazing experience I think I'll ever have, And I want to thank Vikram because he came on board without even me having any director on board. So I really want to thank Vikram and Viacom 18. And thank you, everyone.
Well, I've had the privilege to know Ashi for quite some time. And when you were working on Return of Hanuman, long time back, when she came to me with the idea, I only saw it as one thing. I said, finally the first film that I ever wrote, I can make it. And you know, it was quite an exercise, and I think I've seen her go through, because I was unconditionally on board. Then Dibakar came, then Zoya came, then Karan came, and I think she didn't know whether she'll be able to meet the deadline, which we are finally meeting, to release it on this date, which was pre-decided many years ago. And it just also gave me the opportunity to just put out that thing that I felt when I first came to Bombay, standing outside Mr. Bachchan's house, talking to those people. Why do they stand outside all day, trying to peep into the windows and things? And I think that story, because I wrote that story so many years ago, before I got involved with Satya, which is also the reason why this film does not have a single abuse in it. And just happy to be on board with filmmakers, and having seen everybody's film and seeing that how it has in various ways meant so much to all of us. And it was quite an eye-opener when we saw all the films together. And suddenly you start feeling that you're part of something very important and very good, and it will not happen all the time. And thank you for starting this, and thank you for backing this, and thanks for being there. Thank you.
Well, that sounds like a wonderful collaboration. How about we get a glimpse of it as well? So, ladies and gentlemen, just momentarily, I'd ask you to take your seats.
Main stars of the movie.
मेरे दिमाग में तो कभी कोई शुरा था ही नहीं इस बारे में. डायरेक्टर तो मैं तो हर वक्त डायरेक्टर्स को स्टार ही सोचता हूँ, लेकिन मेरे ख्याल से इसमें स्टार प्रोड्यूसर है. इस तरह की फिल्में इंडिया में उतनी नहीं बनती है, लेकिन बाहर क्या होता है, जो प्रोड्यूसर होता है वो एक क्रिएटिव आदमी होता है या औरत होती है इन दिस केस, जो प्राइम सोर्स बनते हैं, जो पहल करते हैं कि ऐसी एक फिल्म बनेगी जिसका क्रिएटिव रुख ऐसा होगा और ऐसे एक्टर्स और ऐसे स्टार्स और ऐसी कहानियां हम बनाएंगे. तो मेरे ख्याल से 100 इयर्स में सबसे बड़ी जो शुरुआत है वो ये है कि पहल कदमी वाला प्रोड्यूसर जो होता है उसकी एक मिसाल हमको मिल रही है. तो मेरे ख्याल से उनको जेन्युइनली उस चीज को स्टार मानना चाहिए, और मैं चाहता हूं कि इस तरह के और प्रोड्यूसर्स आए ताकि हम जैसे डायरेक्टर्स को स्टार बनने का थोड़ा सा मौका मिल जाए.
जोया और करण आपसे पूछना चाहेगी, ऋतिक रोशन, शाहरुख खान, इन्हें हमेशा पिक्चरों में एकदम स्टार बन जाते हैं, स्टारडम मिल जाता है. डायरेक्टर की अगर बात करें तो इस मूवी से डायरेक्टर भी इतनी बड़ी स्टारडम पाएंगे?
नहीं, नहीं हो सकता.
Hi, I have a question actually for maybe Ashi. Since music is such an important part of our cinema usually, how have each of the filmmakers brought in their own music, or is there a musical sort of soundtrack binding the film?
Yeah, there is a musical soundtrack by Amit Trivedi for the entire film. But Karan has used 2 really beautiful old songs in his film. Anurag has used 3 songs in his film. I think Dibakar is in the process of getting, I'm not supposed to tell you all right now, but he's also supposed to be getting someone.
I've got the 2 biggest music directors in the world.
Yeah. And Zoya's got Shankar Ehsaan Loy doing her music. So yeah, music is very exciting in the film. Yeah.
I'm using Tagore and Chopin. So I'm using Tagore and Chopin. So
Yeah.
we're in talks. So it should work.
अच्छा, आप सबसे जानना चाहेंगे, यहाँ देखिए, यहाँ सामने करण, नीचे यहाँ.
हाँ जी.
100 साल हिंदी सिनेमा को समेटने की बात की गई है इस फिल्म में, और जितना भी वक्त हो जाएगा इस फिल्म में, 1 घंटे, 1.5 घंटे, 2 घंटे की फिल्म है, क्या ये वाकई उतना है? क्या 100 साल समेट पाएगा ये फिल्म जो हमने इंडस्ट्री में देखा है फिलहाल अब तक, जो आप दिखाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं इस फिल्म में?
जी इतने टैलेंटेड तो हम भी नहीं है कि 100 साल सिनेमा का हम 2 घंटों में समेट ले, वो तो पॉसिबल ही नहीं है। लेकिन ये जो हमने कहा था कि 100 years ऑफ सेलिब्रेशन, ये जो अवसर था, हम चारों जो हैं वो आए हैं अपनी कहानियां बताने इकट्ठे for Bombay Talkies. So it's not just that we are representing or depicting Indian cinema. जो एक बात है जो हर फिल्म निर्माता निर्देशक के जहन में होती है कि रग रग में होती है, वो है passion. And I think that's what we try to depict on screen, is to show our individual and inherent passion in our stories. और ये basically बहुत कमती होता है कि 4 फिल्म मेकर आ जाते हैं एक मंच पे कुछ करने के लिए, और मेरा ये मानना है कि I hope we set a precedent and this happens much more often. So the ethos of 4 filmmakers coming together is to celebrate cinema, and that's what we've done on this very momentous celebration of 100 years of cinema.
मैं सवाल आप कहना चाहूंगा कि ये फिल्म 100 में से एक भी साल नहीं समेटती है, क्योंकि ये जो फिल्म है 100 years of cinema के ओकेजन पे ये फिल्म बनी है, और सिनेमा हमारी जिंदगी में कितना, जैसा विक्रम मल्होत्रा ने शुरू में ही कहा था, फैंस को सेलिब्रेट करती है, और हमारा सिनेमा किनकी वजह से कैसे सर्वाइव करता है और सिनेमा का दखल हमारी जिंदगी में किस हद तक है, फिल्म उसको सेलिब्रेट करती है। इस 100 साल को बिल्कुल सेलिब्रेट नहीं करती। 100 साल के सेलिब्रेशन के ओकेजन पे हमने फिल्म बनाई है।
तो इसका मतलब अनुराग, आप ये कहना चाह रहे हैं जिस तरह से ट्रेलर में देखा गया कि वो एक किरदार दिखाया जो कहीं अचार का डब्बा लेके बच्चन साहब के घर के सामने है, कुछ उस तरह का कुछ देखने को मिलेगा कि एक फैन कितनी मशक्कत के बाद ट्रेन में चल के धक्के खा के यहाँ पहुंचता है और उसका अचार का डब्बा बच्चन साहब तक नहीं पहुंचता है।
आप 3 तारीख को देखिएगा।
Anurag sir, Prabhat from Bollywood and Glamour. Anurag sir, what is the initiative taken by Bollywood fraternity for the short filmmakers, means who are making short film, and is there any financial benefit in making short films in India?
I have no idea about that, but I'll tell you there is definitely a benefit in making short films. Sometimes it is financial, most times it is not, but it becomes a great platform for you to showcase that what you can do, and धीरे-धीरे लोग फिगर आउट कर लेंगे।
मेरा सवाल आप चारों से ये है, मतलब आप में से कोई भी दे सकता है, नीचे ही बैठा हूं मैं, बगल में नीचे ही बैठा हूं। जिस तरीके से मतलब 4 डायरेक्टर्स मिले हैं यहाँ पे एक फिल्म में देखने को मिलेगा। करण, अगर आपकी बात करें तो आपकी फिल्म ब्राइट कलर्स, बड़े बड़े सेट्स, ये सब होती है। करण, जो अनुराग जी की फिल्म डार्क शेड होती है, जोया की अपनी अलग कहानी बताने का तरीका होता है, दिबाकर जी का अलग होता है। तो इस फिल्म में क्या होगा, इस फिल्म में किस तरीके की चीजें होंगी, वो अगर आप बता सकें कि कितने ब्राइट कलर्स दिखेंगे, कितना डार्क शेड दिखेगा, क्या क्या होगा? जी बिल्कुल।
ये नौरोलाग की फिल्म नहीं है, ये फिल्म मेकर्स की कहानी है। आपने शेड कार्ड बना दिया इस फिल्म को, डार्क, लाइट, मीडियम, ग्रे, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। हम भावनाएं को डिपिक्ट कर रहे हैं, इमोशंस को दिखा रहे हैं, कहानियां बता रहे हैं, किरदारों के सफर की कहानियां बता रहे हैं। आप तो आपने ड्यूलक्स बन गए आप। इट्स नॉट, आई मीन ये डार्क लाइट की कहानी नहीं, इट्स अबाउट 4 प्रोटैगनिस्ट्स एंड देयर जर्नीज रियली एंड व्हाट दे गो थ्रू, और हर कहानी अलग है। आई डोंट थिंक देयर इज अ थ्रेड ऑफ कॉमनैलिटी बारिंग द फैक्ट दैट वी कम टुगेदर फॉर दिस प्लेटफॉर्म, एंड ऑफ कोर्स देयर इज some inherent part of cinema or something adjacent to what's happened in the past. There's some kind of minor mention of cinema in every film. लेकिन that's the only thing. वरना हम अपने individual styles हैं हमारे as filmmakers. And that will be very evident in the film. अभी budgets ही कहाँ थी इतनी colors आपको दिखाने के लिए? Short films है तो colors के लिए budgets required, chandeliers का पैसे नहीं था हमारे पास। हम इस फिल्म में 4 गरीब फिल्ममेकर बन गए थे, जो हमें, और मुझे लाइफ में कभी किसी ने एक बजट नहीं दिया, 1.5 करोड़ का बजट से इसमें पिक्चर बनाओ, ये मेरे साथ लाइफ में नहीं हुआ है। तो that was also a challenge. That was one of the other challenges we fought. हाँ, बहुत कलर है।
Yeah, Ashi, my question is, hello, Ashi here. My question is.
My question is for you. हम अक्सर जब भी कुछ ऐसा नया करते हैं जिसमें we're not really sure of, थोड़ी nervousness रहती है, तो we really put in our hard work, like 100%, जो भी हमारे लिए lucky है, जो हमारा 100% hard work है। तो आपके केस में, because you said that थोड़ी सी nervousness थी इस फिल्म को चारों डायरेक्टर्स के साथ करने में, तो didn't you consider शाहरुख खान also, considering he is your lucky masker, just to keep that assurity on that ठीक है फिल्म अच्छा करेगी अगर वो होंगे तो?
I did this film to make a difference, to feel different, and hoping that I would come to a press conference and not be asked that question. But unfortunately, everywhere I go, it's like, why not this and why not that? Shah Rukh Khan is a part of my system. He's part of my filmmaking. He will always be. When you see the film, you'll realize that it's very true to its characters, and it's very true to its world. So unfortunately, I couldn't cast, I love Shah Rukh Khan, and working with him is an honor and pleasure for me always. But there has to be a place, space, time, and film and story for every actor to work in. So,
yeah, Ashi, my question is that when you decided on this concept 3 years ago, you must have had some plan, some idea to weave the whole thing together. Is there a link, and what sort of link there is? And two, is there also, these 4 filmmakers in particular, why?
We agreed, that's why. We were the 4 that said yes.
No, I was very scared to go to Karan actually, because I didn't think he'll agree. But when he agreed, we were very, very excited, because he was one person we really didn't think he'll agree. Why these 4 filmmakers? Because they're equally brilliant and dramatically different. And there was no plan. When I thought of the concept, there was no plan. It was just that I'll meet filmmakers and I'll see if they're excited about the concept as well. And I met filmmakers who got excited about the concept as much as I was, and that's why we made the film.
मेरा सवाल आप चारों directors से है. We said yes first. Yeah. So there are many other filmmakers to say what was the state of our stature which is represented here. There are many more filmmakers like this. It's just that the 4 of us saw what a wonderful project it was, and we just jumped on and bit on it and didn't let it go. So that's what happened.
So was there? And I feel a lot of the filmmakers that said no are going to feel really bad.
Okay. So what was the link when you say Bombay Talkies? It's obviously about our cinema. So what was the link, common link you had in these stories, or did you let them have a free hand in the selection of the themes?
No, they're not connected at all. The concept, the story is completely theirs. The only thing I told them was, please have an element of cinema and something that's close to your heart, something that you wanted to make, something that inspired you to be a filmmaker, or the reason. Any story that's close to your heart, and that's what they did.
Is it going to be something from the past, from the directors, something from the past and the contemporary state of affairs? Yeah.
No, like I said before, the film does not sum up 100 years of cinema. It's got nothing to do with the past or the present. It is the occasion to make this film is 100 years of cinema. Each individual film is from somewhere from within us, which is about the impact that cinema has in our everyday lives, how it is so much part of an Indian fan's life.
Okay, मेरा सवाल.
Documentary, it's not a historical perspective.
Yeah, it's not a documentary. Yeah.
Okay.
And also, Anurag, you said, lately you have introduced abusive words. Why did you restrict from them now?
No, I didn't
Since
say
it's been going now.
I borrowed them in my film.
I didn't say I introduced them. I said मेरे ऊपर हमेशा ही फेंका जाता था. मैंने कहा पहली बार मेरी फिल्म में ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है, तो मैं खुल के बोल सकता हूँ कि mine is the most universal film of the whole lot.
ओके मेरा सवाल आप चारों डायरेक्टर्स से है. फिल्म का टाइटल बॉम्बे टॉकीज बहुत अच्छा टाइटल है, मगर आप लोग अगर अपनी हर कोई अपनी कहानी को, अपनी शॉर्ट फिल्म को एक टाइटल से बयां कर सके, तो क्या टाइटल होगा?
हर एक की इंडिविजुअल टाइटल क्या होगी?
जी.
मेरी फिल्म का अगर टाइटल होता तो होता स्टार.
शीला की जवानी.
अजीब दास्तान है ये.
हम क्या बात कर रहे हैं? सवाल क्या था?
टाइटल क्या होता है?
अगर इंडिविजुअल टाइटल फिल्म का होता तो? जी. यार मुझे तो नहीं. हाँ, मुरब्बा.
This question is to Karan Johar. You're on your right. You're up. Yeah. Hi.
Yeah.
You're known to make big budget films and the duration which goes beyond 2.5 hours. So when you had a restricted budget and 20 minutes only to showcase what you had in mind, how difficult was it for you?
It was traumatic. On various levels. Just making a film along with Zoya, Anurag and Dibakar was I get very conscious. I've always wanted a lot of love from the critics and the intellectuals and the cinema connoisseurs. I've never got it. And I've always yearned for it, wanted it, prayed for it, and even cried for it. And all these prolific filmmakers on my left and right have lived by just 4-star reviews and 5-star reviews. I've got them, but very like mar ke de diya, chalo de do, bhagwan ke liye de do. So I was very scared, A, sharing a platform with them. B, I've never made a film in budget. It's never happened. I'm the hugest liability for Dharma Productions. Thirdly, brevity is not my strength at all. I am very long-winded about everything. My films are long, the process is long, everything in my life is long. Pun not intended. And so it's been a very traumatic, really difficult time till I really went on set and succumbed to the process. And then finally I just realized that, look, I'm going to do what I have to do, and if it's going to be judged badly or well, that's really for the film to say eventually. But I had to really love what I was doing, which I did. And those 9 days were really special for me. I don't think I've been through those 9 days in any other film as I did on this one. So I'm really happy I did it, and now the rest is for everybody to see.
There's also a report that Ranbir Kapoor is playing the narrator of this film, Bombay Talkies. So what's his role going to be like?
He's not playing the narrator anymore because we did speak to him and he agreed to do it. But once we saw the film, we realized that we don't need a narrator, and the film's... Yeah.
He's in, so he's in my film. That's why he's not the narrator.
In what capacity? Because he was nowhere in the...
I cast him in secret, and he's there. You'll see him. Even he doesn't know it.
He doesn't know he's in the film.
Yeah, my question to Ashi. Ashi, Bombay Talkies shows your love for filmmaking and 100 years of cinemas. Is anything like, do you feel the word Bombay in the title will create any problem instead of using, Mumbai?
Yeah, we did think about it. Firstly, the title came from Zoya, Bombay Talkies, and but we did think about it, but we can't use the word talkies and use Mumbai, because when it was talkies, it was Bombay, and we had to, like it's Bombay Times, it has to be Bombay Talkies. So.
अनुराग आपसे जानना चाहेंगे सर, आप सुन सकते हैं, बेहतर है, देखिए ना तो बहुत बढ़िया होगा. मैं जानना चाहूंगा सर, जिस तरह से आपकी स्टोरी है, आपने कहा कि कहीं जब मैं मुंबई शहर पहली बार आया था तो अमिताभ बच्चन जी के बंगले के सामने खड़ा हुआ था, तो क्या आपकी कहानी में आपका अपना पर्सनल तजुर्बा भी नजर आएगा जो आपने वहां झेला?
उस कहानी में जो भी मैंने देखा और सुना और लोगों से बात की, वो दिखेगा.
आपका अपना पर्सनल तजुर्बा कुछ, क्योंकि आपने कहा कि आप जब आए थे तो आप भी बच्चन साहब के बंगले के सामने खड़े हुए थे उनको देखने के लिए.
बिल्कुल दिखेगा, और सबकी कहानी में उनका खुद का कुछ ना कुछ दिखने वाला है. आप फिल्म देखिए ना 3 मई को.
सर, करण सर.
हाँ जी.
मिडिल.
जी, मिडिल.
सर, मेरा एक यस सर, मैं आप लोग से पूछना चाहता हूं कि क्या फिल्म इंडस्ट्री बदल रही है या बदलना पड़ रहा है जबरदस्ती? मींस हमें फिल्म इंडस्ट्री बदलना पड़ रहा है. जैसे पहले फिल्म होती थी 3 घंटे की या 2.5 घंटे की, अब धीरे धीरे होकर 15 मिनट्स आ गई सर. तो क्या रीजन है सर?
ये देखिए, ये जस्ट टू स्पेसिफाई, ये कंटिन्यूस प्रोसेस नहीं होगा मिडिल. ये ऐसा नहीं कि मेरी नेक्स्ट फिल्म भी 20 मिनट की होगी और हम सब की अगली फिल्म 20-25 मिनट की होगी. ऐसा नहीं है, इतना एक्सट्रीम हम नहीं जा रहे.
सर, जैसे होता है कि सर कोई भी फिल्म आती है तो जब 2.5 घंटे की फिल्म होती है, अगर अच्छी स्क्रिप्ट होती है तो और मन करता है देखने का.
जी.
तो क्या स्क्रिप्ट कम आ रही है या अच्छे फिल्म्स नहीं आ रहे जिसके कारण आप लोगों को 10 या 15 मिनट की फिल्म बनाने पड़ रही है?
I'm going to say, can we have another question, please?
I have a question. करण, फिल्म के प्रोड्यूसर से जानना चाहेंगे कि ये प्रमोशन का दौर है, जब हमारी फिल्म के बारे में सारे चैनल्स में हम ट्यून करें तो दिखाई दे फिल्म, सारे अखबारों में दिखाई दे या हर जगह होर्डिंग में दिखाई दे, तो इस फिल्म के प्रमोशन के लिए किस तरह की तकनीकी अपनाई जाएगी? क्या कुछ होगा? बिकॉज अभी पहला लुक है, इसके बाद क्या कुछ होगा?
देखिए, बिल्कुल हमने आपको यहाँ बुलाया है, एंड बियॉन्ड दैट वी आर ऑल गोइंग टू डांस टू शीला की जवानी टुगेदर एट एनी गिवन पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. I don't know how else. I think जी, on a serious note, on a promotional strategy पूरी जिस तरह होगी, और फिल्म को देख के we know कि एक किस्म की फिल्म है, एक ऑडियंस है जो वी वुड लाइक टू टेल देम ये 4 कम्युनिकेट कर रहे हैं, 4 शॉर्ट कहानियां हैं, फिल्म मेकर्स हैं, प्रोमोज में आपने शॉर्ट्स देख लिया है. इट्स अ स्पेसिफिक काइंड ऑफ व्यूइंग, येट वी वांट एज मेनी पीपल टू कम एंड सी दिस फिल्म बिकॉज इट्स अ सेलिब्रेशन ऑफ इंडियन सिनेमा. तो हम चाहते हैं कि सब बहुत ज्यादा लोग लाइक भारी मात्रा में आए इस पिक्चर को देखने. तो प्रमोशंस वही होगा, टेलीविजन पे ट्रेलर्स होंगे, बाकायदा पीआर होगी, हम हर जगह जाएंगे, हर शहर जाएंगे और बोलें, हम ढिंडोरा पीटेंगे कि हम आइए और हमारी फिल्म को देखिए. इट्स एन अर्नेस्ट ऑनेस्ट इंडेवर बाय ईच एंड एवरी फिल्म मेकर. और कहां मौका मिलता है कि 4 फिल्म मेकर की कहानी, उनके सपने आप बड़े पर्दे पे देख लें, बहुत बार नहीं होता ये कैसा सवाल है? आपने पिक्चर का प्रोमो देखा है, पूछ रहे कि आइटम सॉन्ग होगा. आई मीन लुक इनटू योर ओन हेड स्पेस माय डियर.
Karan, yeah.
Those films didn't have filmmakers like these. That's all.
Can I just ask the four directors? I'm guessing that approaching these films with a competitive attitude would be sort of self-defeating, given that it's meant to be a collaborative effort. But you are human. Was there an element of peering over each other's back, curiosity over knowing what the other is doing? Were there discussions had? I mean, were you all curious to know what each other was doing while or before you started your films?
I was obsessed by what the others were doing. And I wanted to know how many days they shot, what all they were doing, what their films were about. I was obsessed, I want to tell you. I'm very competitive by nature, I have to say, and all of us are. We're all in the same industry. We all want to be better than the other. But that never took away from our spirit. In fact, when 4 of us got into a room at Zoya's house and saw the films, there was nothing but just love at the end of that. So eventually, that emotion of cinema and passion overrides all that sense of competition and ambition. And I think that's what happened to me individually, and I'm sure the same happened to all the 3 of us. But having said that, I used to always ask, and I even asked some sneaky sources to find out, I really want to know, has Anurag shot his film in 5 days? Because my production was giving me a really tough time. Zoya said she took 9, so when I reached 9 days, I was like, that's fine, I'm fine. Then Dibakar I had the least amount of access to. So I tried through various sources to find out, and I didn't find out a thing about what Dibakar was doing till I saw his film, I have to say. He was the sneakiest of the lot. I don't know what he did when he did this film, made it no one knew. So he made it sure that he was kind of us-proof.
आप चारों की कहानियां कौन से दौर पे बेस्ड है? मेरा सवाल है. अलग
3 बार जवाब दिया जाएगा उसके बावजूद.
सर दौर कौन सा था वो? 50
आज के दौर में. तो सब आज की फिल्म, आज की कहानी.
Hi, an open question. करण, अगर हम बात करें बॉम्बे टॉकीज की, तो इसके बैनर तले कई फिल्में पहले बन चुकी हैं और एक फिल्म भी थी बॉम्बे टॉकीज पहले आ चुकी है. तो इस बारे में क्या कहेंगे? कुछ कॉपीराइट्स के प्रॉब्लम हो सकते हैं क्योंकि इस एक प्रोडक्शन हाउस
नहीं होंगे तो आप क्रिएट कर देंगे.
Just an open question to anyone. Yeah, hi. We are saying this is a celebration of Indian cinema. We've been continuously associating Indian cinema with Hindi cinema. Is this by choice or by chance?
The film is called Bombay Talkies, not called India Talkies.
Yeah, but we are referring it to a celebration of Indian cinema, and we've seen it continuously that we tend to associate automatically by habit.
I think there was an endeavor like this trying to be done in every other language. And it didn't happen. In Hindi, it became possible. It was tried in every other language separately. Hindi में हो गया, बाकी languages में हो ही नहीं पाया.
You see, I'm a Bengali. I speak Bengali at home, but I still consider myself a Hindi filmmaker. We all belong to the Hindi film industry. It just happens that is the biggest film industry in India. Now, let there be a producer in the South or in Bengal and come up with 4 Bengali directors and say, okay, let's make something to commemorate 100 years of cinema. That didn't happen. Ashi and Viacom 18 were the only people who took that step forward. And none of us can make films in any other language but Hindi. So we are a part of this, and let's not deny it. So that's it. That's what happened. I mean, we were lucky that Viacom and Ashi and all these guys got together and thought of it first before anybody else did. I wish it happened in other regional languages also, but it didn't.
It's for Karan. Last year, what's the scope of short films in India? Karan.
I have no idea. I've never made a short film. I don't watch many short films, and I really don't know. Or from what my understanding is that I think the market is very limited for documentaries, for short films. I don't think it's a very large market. I don't think we have an evolved audience base that kind of gives it that kind of kind of commercial love.
There's a lot of scope of short film on the internet. There's a lot of platforms on the internet for short films, and now it's also being monetized. Until 3 years ago, जो short films बनाते थे net पे, they could not monetize it. Now YouTube has opened up, Google has opened up, everybody has opened up. You can monetize your short films, and there's a huge scope of short films on 3Gs, on 4G when it comes out, 5G when it goes on, and as the screen is getting smaller, films are getting shorter because छोटी स्क्रीन पे हमारा जो attention span है बहुत कम होता है, और इस तरह की शॉर्ट फिल्म्स को बहुत सारे लोग बैकअप कर रहे हैं, और जिनको वो फ्यूचर का विजन है वो इस तरह की शॉर्ट फिल्म्स कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं, इकट्ठा कर रहे हैं, ताकि उसको आगे, और लाइब्रेरी बना रहे हैं ताकि उसको आगे जब वो टाइम आएगा, जब 4G 5G स्ट्रीमिंग वीडियो आएगा तो सब उसको मोनेटाइज करेंगे. So there's a lot of future. I wish that you could also see there.
We only know Karan, my question is to you. As you said, you were very obsessed to know what the three of them were doing. You were very keen to know about what Anurag, Dibakar and Zoya is doing. So have you seen their short films, and if you have seen, which one did you like?
We all saw each other's films, and we're very happy with the film Bombay Talkies. That's all we'd like to say right now.
We only have time for one more question, please. Last question.
Considering कि this is director की कहानी, जिस तरह आप उन्हें define कर रहे हैं, ये आपकी कहानी है और आप लोगों ने उसे direct किया है, तो किस basis पे आपने इन actors को ये responsibility दी कि वो आपकी कहानी को present कर पाए audience को? That is a great responsibility on an actor's part. तो किस basis पे did you select these actors? Please answer my question first.
I mean, really, it's always dependent on the screenplay of each film. So I think Zoya, yeah. So each film actually has my story was about like scattered relationships, and I needed like 2 male protagonists and a female protagonist, and so I cast exactly according to the part. I had a casting director, Shanu Sharma, who actually read my thoughts, and I gave her a narration, and she actually sat with me for over 2 or 3 days, and we ideated on who should be in the film. And I was fortunate that the 3 actors I approached were kind enough. I'm very grateful that they came on board and accommodated me on every level, and I'm sure that was the case with everybody.
I think any kind of a casting process starts with the script, and who fits the script, who suits the script. My film was, like I said, about Mr. Bachchan, and I needed an actor who was North Indian, and I needed the actual staff of Mr. Bachchan and his house, and they all agreed to be cast in. Pratiksha को मैं किसी और से replace नहीं कर सकता. Pratiksha is a big protagonist in the film. So film के हिसाब से casting होती है.
We have to hear about their casting.
Well, that's all the time we have today. Thank you for your questions.
Karan, hi.
Since we have very little time, and for some reason no one's asking us what our films are about, we are going to tell you all anyway. Yeah, so we'll start with Dibakar.
No, finish.
Okay, so my film's about an 8-year-old boy who wants to grow up and be Sheila. And I cast Katrina in it because she is Sheila A. It could have been another character from an Hindi film, but when you see it, you realize that she totally fits into the fairy tale that I tried to make.
My film is about a failed actor and a failed man who has his last chance. So I thought that Nawaz would be the best person to portray. So I spoke to him. I also told him that the film probably would be in Marathi, at least substantial lengths of it. So he was even more excited, and that's how it happened.
करण, जाहिर सी बात है ये मौका आपकी फिल्म उंगली के बारे में बात करने का नहीं है, लेकिन मतलब आपने क्या सोचा है उंगली के बारे में कि आगे कुछ क्या होगा, बिकॉज संजय दत्त के ऊपर जिस तरीके से, तो आपका रिएक्शन जानना चाहिए.
We'll keep the questions to Bombay Talkies, please. Thank you.
ट्रेंड चेंज करेगा ये बॉलीवुड का जो ट्रेंड चलता आ रहा है.
He's talking about हंगामा होगा तो कैसा होगा?
नहीं, मैं जवाब नहीं, मैं वापस सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ कि चलो हम लोग तो कुछ करते रहते हैं चेंज करने के, आप लोग कब बदलेंगे?
ये क्या कह रहे कि ये ट्रेंड बन जाएगा शॉर्ट फिल्म्स का अगर ये पिक्चर? नहीं देखिए, हमने ना ये फिल्म बनाई है टू मेक इट टू ये टर्म के लिए, ना हिट, ब्लॉकबस्टर, एवरेज, जो भी ये टर्म्स है, ये फिल्म ये 4 फिल्म मेकर्स की पैशन है और जो आप बड़े पर्दे पे देखेंगे। तो आई मीन इट्स अ फिल्म मेकर जो कहानियां बता रहे विद इट्स अटमोस्ट सिंसियरिटी एंड इट्स फॉर यू टू सी। ऐसा कि हिट, ब्लॉकबस्टर, टॉप 10, ये सारी चीजें को ध्यान में ही नहीं रखा हमने। तो वी आर नॉट हियर टू चेंज ट्रेंड्स, वी आर हियर टू टेल 4 स्टोरीज एंड टू सेलिब्रेट 100 years of cinema, and that's pretty much what it is.
अगर आप अनुमति दे तो मैं बोलूं। बेसिकली क्या है कि अगर इस फिल्म के बाद बाकी प्रोड्यूसर्स को और मीडिया को पता चल जाए कि 6 करोड़ में 4 डायरेक्टर इस तरह से आके जिस तरह के एक्टर्स आप स्क्रीन पे देख रहे हैं और जिस तरह की कहानियां आप देख रहे हैं, एक फिल्म बन सकती है। अगर ये हिम्मत और ये हौसला अगले किसी इंडिपेंडेंट प्रोड्यूसर और स्टूडियो को मिल जाए तो बहुत सारी नई फिल्में और बहुत सारे नए ट्रेंड्स चालू हो जाएंगे। क्योंकि सबसे पहले जो ये ट्रेंड मैं चाहता हूं ये फिल्म बदले, वो ये है कि फिल्म 100 करोड़ की हो या 1 करोड़ की हो, उससे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है। फिल्म क्या है उससे बहुत फर्क पड़ता है। तो ये ट्रेंड अगर चेंज हो जाए, और मैं बहुत उम्मीद करता हूं कि ये ट्रेंड चेंज हो जाए, तो फिर प्रोड्यूसर्स की शायद तीसरी आंख खुल जाए। तो दैट्स व्हाट आई होप फॉर।
शायद आप प्रोड्यूस नहीं कर रहे हैं फिल्म, इसलिए शायद वो कलेक्शंस आपके लिए मायने नहीं रख रहे फिल्म, सिर्फ निर्देशक में आप।
We'll let that be the last question, if you'd like to answer that one.
देखिए, बॉक्स ऑफिस कलेक्शंस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती है, ये मैं भी जानता हूँ, ये आप भी जानते हैं, हम सब जानते हैं। लेकिन फिल्म को, अगर आप फिल्म को जिस नजरिए से हमने इस फिल्म को देखा है, उस नजरिए से आप अगर देख लें तो यू नो दैट दिस इज नॉट फॉर बॉक्स ऑफिस फिगर्स। इस फिल्म की ओपनिंग वीकेंड के लिए हम ये नहीं जानना चाहेंगे कि कितने करोड़ कमाए इस फिल्म में, हम जानना चाहेंगे कितने लोगों को देखा है और कितने लोगों को अपने फ्रेंड्स को रेकमेंड किया है। और इसलिए हमने आपको यहाँ बुलाया है, बिकॉज़ वी नीड योर हेल्प एंड सपोर्ट ऑन अ फिल्म लाइक दिस। दिस फिल्म इज फॉर द लव ऑफ एन ऑडियंस, नॉट फॉर द मनी ऑफ द ऑडियंस। यस, फॉर दैट लव वी नीड द money, but that we know that. But at the end of the day, it's not, I don't think any of us want to be in the top 10 hits of the year. We'd like this film to be seen by as many people, and we try to reach out via a medium like this and various others that we will adopt. तो ये फिल्म कोई ब्लॉक, ये मैं अगर ऐसी फिल्म प्रोड्यूस करता, which I would be very happy and proud to produce, I would not track its box office figures like I would. I'm also producing small films, and I know which films to look at monetarily and which ones not to. This is what you call a passion project.
And lastly, Dibakar just mentioned the budget of the film is 6 crore rupees. So whose film is the most, the maximum budget, and whose film is the cheapest?
Well, there are logistics and monies beyond this, the 6 crore. We were each given, like it was like a little bit of a Hunger Game. We were each given 1.5 crores each to make the film. And we had to make sure, and like Zoya told me, I can't cheat. Cheating would be adding our own money, which none of us have done. In fact, I think I'm proud to say everybody's made their film a little under budget. So that is why we were all given the exact same budget to spend, and it was up to us how we went about it.
Thank you, gentlemen, for the insight into Bombay Talkies. Thank you to our talented directors.